having consistency, and you don't have to have a world beater back there, right? But guys like a Jimmy G, and obviously Aaron Rodgers is who he is, but if you can just put somebody that is sound, like a Geno Smith type, right, that is a pro, is going to show up, do his job. Obviously, you always want that guy to be transcendent and be a Pat Mahomes, but he doesn't have to be, because you got a great football team that's led by the defense, good running game, and you have weapons on the outside, and so those things are going to allow whatever guy is back there to raise their game to another level because it's a supporting cast around them.
If you have a Breece Hall and that running game going as strongly, you don't need a superstar quarterback. You can have somebody who can manage a game like Zach Wilson did early in the year. But if they do get, a big-time quarterback, a veteran one, it's all a scale, Eric. Like Aaron Rodgers say, he's a superstar. So then you can kind of get away with, okay, maybe you just need a solid running game. If you can't kind of get a middle-of-the-road kind of a guy, then you probably still need that elite running game. And of course, the solid defense, has to be a part of the equation, no question.
My theory is, if he gets in a room with Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas, who I met a few times when he was with the Eagles, Aaron Rodgers would love those guys. I just really think that those guys, if they really wanted him and can make it work out, could get Aaron Rodgers to commit. I'm a huge fan of both of their personality. I don't know Robert Saleh really at all, but he seems like a wonderful guy. I think they could convince Rodgers, and I think it's the best fit.
But no, I don't know what Aaron's going to want to do. I don't know Aaron at all. So, but I think if he wants to play, and if it's not going to be in Green Bay, I think the Jets are an attractive team because they're close. They're very close, and I don't know how he feels about New York and that whole thing. But if I'm Joe Douglas, that's who I'm going for.
I think it's more attractive than it has been recently because you have some really young, dynamic players. I mean, right, like players watch other players, right? So they're all aware. If you're a quarterback, you're aware of Garrett Wilson. Mm-hmm. You're aware of Sauce Gardner. Like you're aware that Quinnen Williams. I mean, they know who you've got. So I think it's certainly more attractive than it has been in recent years.
I mean, how many quarterbacks who are later in their career want to be able to say, boy, you know what? I know I'm going to be good if I can build a lead.
Right.
I know that's a defense that's going to create turnovers and get me the ball. I know if there's a situation where we've turned it over, they can be stout and minimize the damage. That has great appeal to a quarterback. I think as much appeal as playmakers on the edges and specialists. And I know people love to say, well, Aaron Rodgers, boy, how much he misses Devontae. Sure he does. But would he miss having a top 5 defense? Which would he miss more?
Yeah.
Something to think about.
The one that to me does make sense for the organization more than anything else would be Garoppolo. That, if they do want to run an offense, obviously LaFleur is no longer there, but if they want to run an offense similar to that, get a guy who's done it, and get a guy who's done it in the AFC East, who's done it, and go to battle with him. He strikes me as somebody that could do it. His problem is his durability. He just can't play a full season. Would Derek Carr work in New York City? I don't know. I don't think Aaron Rodgers would want to come to New York. I just don't know if the Jets are a fit for him. Quite frankly, I don't know. Geno Smith, I don't think is going to be available. But I think of all of them, Garoppolo might be the best fit.
Well, I mean, listen, I know we all look at Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, that'd be a guy. You are a Jets football team that I think is ready right now. So from that standpoint, it makes sense. But it's also risky. So that would be the first thing I would say. I mean, one, you're going to have to trade away a lot of things and give a guy a lot of money, and you don't really know how long you're going to get him for, right? So you could be right back in the boat next year, or depending how they feel about Zach Wilson and all of that, to where, all right, we might need a quarterback. It is going to be a compensation there, and I don't know how long you'd get him. The other guy that I think that jumps out to me more in a not necessarily realistic, but not having to give up the farm to get him is Derek Carr. I think that's the next guy that would be the makes the most sense, and maybe makes more sense than even Aaron Rodgers. If you just want to go, wait, we need a guy that's going to come in, run the offense, play good football, not add drama to the locker room and all that. that's where the Jets are certainly a place I would look at if I was Derek Carr.